Snap Studios. Snap Judgment is brought to you by Progressive, where customers who save by switching their home and car save nearly $800 on average. Quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, national average 12-month savings of $793 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary. Welcome to Snap Judgment, the Call of Booty episode. My name is Glenn Washington, and today, longtime Snap Judgment contributor Ray Christian has a tale of Army life, where loyalty and courage are often put to the test, but this time, they're tested in a way that gives a whole new meaning to the term rear infantry. And sensitive listeners, be warned, this story contains descriptions of a derriere, a rear end, a butt, dear friends, in harm's way. Dr. Raymond, take it away.
I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina at the time, home of the 82nd Airborne Division and the United States Army Special Operations Forces. So it wasn't unusual for there to be a lot of low-flying aircraft in daytime and at night parachute jumps, camouflage soldiers scurrying around right at the perimeters of the base. So it wasn't uncommon for the sheriff's department to get these calls about UFO sightings, aliens, Bigfoots, things of that nature. So I'm laying in bed after having tossed back a few drinks and poured myself in. It's Halloween Eve when I get this panicky phone call. It's one of my team leaders. Hey, Sarge, there's a problem. I wonder if you could consider coming out. Okay, man, what's the problem? What's going on? Sarge, one of the guys has been shot. Shot? Who's shot? Sarge, I really can't explain it, but I really need you to come out here, really. Man, for what? Why didn't you take him to the hospital? What was he committing a crime? Was it robbery or something? What happened? Sarge, we really can't explain it. Please, Sarge, please, can you come out here? When he said, Sarge, I can't explain, I knew it had to be something really bad. Why it is he couldn't tell me. And I should have been thinking, what could I do in this situation? But the thing is, in my field, in the infantry, where you're doing a lot of dangerous stuff and you're asking guys to do stuff for you, they do it because they trust you and they know you would never throw their lives away. We always want our soldiers to think that I can trust you. You care about the things that I care about. That's important to me. So I knew I needed to be there. So I got dressed, they gave me the directions, and I ended up out in this rural area. I find the guys walking around in front of this trailer with a big old street lamp on top of it. And I walk up to them and I say, hey guys, what's going on, man? What happened? What's the problem?
It's hard to explain, Sarge. What had happened was...
And they were just mumbling and talking under their breath and kicking the dirt and just mumbling around. So I pushed past them and I ran right up the steps to that trailer and I pulled over the screen door. And what I saw inside was so outrageous, so crazy, so over the top. Not what I expected. So here's what happened earlier that day. These guys, they had went to this Halloween party, and one of them, Sergeant Brown, he was wearing this really cheap orangish brown gorilla suit. And they were at a convenience store getting some gas and stuff, and he was outside standing by the car still wearing the suit. So people are coming and showing up to go to the store. They're being shocked and stunned by seeing Bigfoot out there in front of the store. So this gave the guys an idea. How about we go out to one of these rural roads and we're going to scare the hell out of some of these local country folk. So they drive out to one of the roads. They park the car. Sergeant Brown is walking up and down the highway, waving his arms. Whoa! You know, his gorilla suit, and the other dudes, they in the car, they just giggling, having a good damn time watching it. As cars were passing by them, swerving, slamming on brakes and speeding up. Well, at some point, a bunch of good old boys in a pickup truck, they pass by and they see Bigfoot on the road. And they turn around and come back and stick a shotgun out the window and shoot Bigfoot in his ass with some bird shot. I realized why they didn't take him to the hospital. Nobody wanted to get court-martialed. So here I am. Now I'm back on the porch, the trailer. I pull open the screen door and I go inside, and what do I see? Here's Sergeant Brown laying on the couch on his stomach. He ain't got nothing on the top. On the bottom, he got them cheap, brownish, orange gorilla pants and a pair of fake gorilla feet. He was sipping a beer and smoking a cigarette. And he turned around and looked at me and he went, "Hey, Sarge." Wow. I look at this and I'm not sure what I need to do. And I take a towel and I kind of wipe the top of his back and I pull the gorilla pants down. And as I was pulling them down, little bird shots started plucking up in the air and flying out. And I pulled him down. He's got these gnarly little holes in his buttocks. And I wipe it again with the towel. But I'm thinking, wow, I'm certainly over my head. What could I do? I call my medic friend. Say, "Hey, look, man, there's a little bit of problem. I wonder if you could come out here. This guy's been shot." "What? Shot? Hell no. I'm not coming out there. You need to take him to the hospital." "No way, So I immediately, go, "Hey, what do you mean you can't come out here? I want you to come out here. We're all soldiers. We depend on each other, man. What do you mean? You're not loyal to us? We can't depend on you? What's the problem, huh?" I said, Okay. I'm coming out. So about 20 minutes later, the medic's in the trailer too, and he does his assessment. He wipes him down even more. He removes some pellets, and he says, "Sarge, it seems to be superficial, and he probably is going to be okay. But if any of those pellets penetrated his colon, he could die from that." I said, "Die from that?" So shoot, what should we do now? I'm not really sure. I'm probably way over my head. So he decides to call the medical sergeant on the phone. And I can hear in the background the medical sergeant saying, "No, I'm not coming out there. You take him to the hospital. What's wrong with you guys?" So I snatched the phone out of the medic's hand and I said, "What the hell you mean you're not coming out here? We can't have faith in you. We can't trust you. You're not loyal to the organization. We can't tell you nothing. You don't care, huh? What's the problem, huh?" Okay. I'm coming out. So the medical sergeant comes out. He does a little bit more than what the medic had done. He wipes him more, he cleans him more, he removes a couple of more pellets, but he kind of expresses the same concern. He says he'll probably be okay, but if any of those pellets penetrated his colon, he could die from that. So what? How do we know? What are we gonna do, man? He said, "Listen, in order to be able to have a better look, we can examine a little bit closer. How about this? You bring him to sick call in the morning. Say he has hemorrhoids. Just keep it kind of quiet." Got it. So the morning, I escort him to sick call. And while we were waiting there, and there's like a form you have to fill out, what is your chief complaint and stuff like that. And so I wrote hemorrhoids.
"What's wrong, Bill?" "Hemorrhoid pain. Once again."
When they got past the back, all the medics get excited.
"Pain, itch, hemorrhoids."
Because every unusual case that shows up is a training opportunity for the medics.
"I was worried I needed surgery for my hemorrhoids."
But then the medical sergeant gets wind of that, and he knows what's going to happen. So he comes out, And he tells us, immediately he's like, listen, you take him and you get out of here, get out of here. I said, man, what am I supposed to do? He said, you're going to have to check for infections the old-fashioned way. You're going to have to look. Look, well, what am I looking for? Any streaking, redness, foul-smelling discharge, things of that nature. So, in the beginning, it was very, very difficult for me to even put my hands on that man's buttocks at all. But after a couple of weeks, some good natural lighting, he could present, spread his cheeks, I'd make a quick look, and we got used to the procedure. After several weeks and months, he got better, no complaints, all is well, and he got transferred to another base. And a few months later, I ended up going to that same base for temporary duty. And I run into Sergeant Brown. And immediately, I'm happy to see him. He's happy to see me. And I said, hey, man, how'd your injury? And he said, why don't you see for yourself? Went into the latrine. He dropped his pads. I immediately got in a position to look. It was like it was old time's sake, We laughed, and then at the same time that was happening, this private walked into the latrine and saw that and immediately turned around and walked out. Every time that kid saw me on base after that, he would have this strange look on his face. So if you should run into a Bigfoot in the woods, don't jump to conclusions. It could just be a wayward soldier. And if you should see a man looking inside another man's butt, well, maybe they hadn't seen each other in a while.
Big thanks to Dr. Raymond Christian. He has his own storytelling show. It's called What's Ray Saying? It's available wherever you get your podcasts. The original score for that story was by Renzo Gorrio. It was produced by John Fecile. Now then, you're thinking, Glenn, that was but an appetizer, an aperitif for my storytelling hunger. I need more stories in my life. Well, welcome to the all-you-can-eat buffet, friends. We call it the Snap Judgment Storytelling Podcast. Amazing stories for your listening pleasure, wherever you get your podcast. Fact, here is a recent review. It says just that, amazing stories, incredible music. They just need to find a new host. It's outrageous. There. Please go and write a review of your own at the Snap Judgment Podcast, walking a mile in someone else's shoes. Snap is brought to you by the team that always bobs and weaves. Except, of course, for the Uber producer, Mr. Mark Ristich. He shimmies and he shakes. There's Nancy Lopez, Pat Mesiti-Miller, Anna Sussman, Renzo Gorrio, John Fecile, Shayna Shealy, Teo Ducot, Flo Wiley, Bo Walsh, Marissa Dodge, David Exnay, and Regina Bediaco. And this is not the news. No way is this the news. In fact, you could run around the woods in a Bigfoot costume, slam into someone dressed as a Loch Ness monster, and you could shout, I don't believe in you, at the top of your lungs, and you would still not be as far away from the news as this is. But this is PRX.